Thank you, Handsome Dan, and welcome once again inside James L. Robb Gymnasium as we get set for another Appalachian Athletic Conference tilt here against Bryan and Tennessee Wesleyan. The aforementioned Highway 30 battle during the women's game, as a lot of us have come to know it, or Washington Ferry Bridge, whichever you want to kind of pick up. But nonetheless, it is a rivalry matchup here inside the conference. And it's the men of Tennessee Wesleyan trying to get to 2 wins in a row. They have struggled this season, 4-9 overall. Preseason 10th, currently though sitting in a tie for 8th place, which is not a terrible place to be. Trying to punch their ticket into the postseason would be the key there for the Bulldogs and Randy Casey in his first season after he does take over the helm from Ray Stone, longtime assistant under Mike Poe and then head coach for a number of years here. Tennessee Wesleyan is now the assistant athletic director here, helping out Donnie Mayfield and company. But nonetheless, it's the Bulldogs going to try to overcome a 10-point loss they had on the road at Bryan, 84-74 earlier this season. It was one where Wesleyan was down by 9 at the half, came back and lost it by 10 overall. But one they are going to try to avenge here tonight. They were led in that game by Ty Hurst. He had 24 points in that previous matchup. Amari Young, who was our halftime interview with the Lady Bulldogs game earlier tonight, had 16 points along with 4 rebounds. And then Jay Reed, 14 points and 7 rebounds to lead the Bulldogs in that latter category with their double-figure scores in that previous matchup. Bryan, on the other hand, they had 5 players in double figures, and they were led by number 22, Trey Morrow. He had 21 points, 6 rebounds. And then 16 points by Dylan Gales, who is currently the conference's leading scorer at 20.8 points per game. He had 16 in that matchup along with 7 rebounds, 10 points and 7 boards by Josh Bauer, and the forward for the Lions, and then 10 points by Ian Johnson and 11 points by Cal Drake for the Lions in that previous matchup. Tennessee Wesleyan, in that previous game, their lowest defensive rebounding category. They started all 3 games on the first part of the season at 18 defensive boards. That's been their lowest. And their lowest point to, the lowest point total was the game before that. But nonetheless, they shot 39% in that previous matchup. Bryan shot 51% in that previous matchup. Bryan, for a season, shoots 46% from the field, averages 82.2 points per game. Tennessee Wesleyan shooting 43.5%, averages 77.6. Wesleyan, though, does give up about 82 points a game compared to Bryan, who gives up 79 points per game. So expect a high-scoring affair between these two teams. Wesleyan averages 36 rebounds per game to the 36.8 of Bryan, but Wesleyan giving up 38 rebounds to the 38 opposing rebounds for Bryan's defensive standings. And then the 3-ball. It is Wesleyan holding a slim advantage there, 35.3% compared to the 32.5% for Bryan. And then the charity stripe, neither team shooting outstanding from that area, but it's Bryan with a 74% average compared to the 63% average for the Bulldogs. Neither team turns it over a whole lot. That'll be a big focus in this matchup going forward tonight to see who can protect the ball and see if Tennessee Wesleyan has answers for Dalen Gales, the junior guard. As I mentioned, he's from Jefferson, Georgia, and Jefferson High School down there. He averages 20.8 a game, which is first in the conference. But then you also look at Keller Dye. He's number 33 currently listed from Hendersonville, Tennessee, played at Station Camp High School. He is the first in the conference in field goal percentage at 65.7%. He has knocked down 46 of 70 shots on the year. And then Josh Bauer, talked about him. He's third in the conference in rebounds per game with 9.5. So those will be 2 guys to watch coming up, or 3 guys to watch. Bauer was, along with Gales and Ian Johnson, conference players to watch for the season coming into this preseason conference players to watch. So we'll see what they can do here as far as Wesleyan can defensively against the Lions of Bryan College. Again, Wesleyan women dropped one earlier 60-50, so the guys trying to at least make it a split on the night here against Bryan. This series, Wesleyan has lost the last 4, but they had won a couple of season sweeps before that one, before this 4-game losing streak, which started with a postseason game losing by 10 points back in 2023, February 2023. And then last season they got swept by the Lions, 21 and 16 points in each of those matchups. And again, the 10-point loss earlier this season back in November. Wesleyan 13 and 6 in the last 42 matchups between the Lions. They are 13 and 6 here at home, average winning by 12.8 points per game. When they lose here at home, it's about a 10 points per game difference. Tennessee Wesleyan has won 3 of the last 4 at Robb and 9 of the last 13 here against the Lions. So let's look at your starting lineups first. It's Don Rakowski in his 20th and final season at the helm of Bryan College. They will start number 1, Ian Johnson, the 6-foot graduate guard, averages 13 points a game from Chattanooga, Tennessee. Number 5, Dalen Gales, as mentioned. He's a 6'2 junior guard from Jefferson, Georgia. Number 21, Josh Bauer, 6'6 junior forward from Albany, Oregon. Number 22, Trey Morrow, 6'4 junior forward, averages 7 points a game from Scott County, Tennessee. Number 33, Keller Dye, a 6'4 senior forward from Hendersonville. And that'll be your starting lineup for the Lions. On the other side for the Bulldogs, it's number 4, Jay Reed, a 6'5 senior forward from Birmingham, Alabama, 9.6 points along with 7 rebounds per game. Number 11, Mari Young, 6-foot senior guard, 12.4, second leading scorer for the Bulldogs, shooting 49% from the field, 41.4 behind the arc from Lawrenceburg, Tennessee. They will start number 20, Peyton West, the senior guard, 6 foot, 9 points a game from Cookeville, Tennessee. Number 22, the big Spaniard, Armando Cordado, 6'9 freshman forward from Almeria, Spain. Averages 4.7 points a game and 4 rebounds. And then 30, Ty Hurst, 6'5 senior guard slash forward, 14.3 to pace the Bulldogs, 45% from the field. And he hails from Knoxville, Tennessee, also averages 5.4 rebounds per game as both teams being introduced. We talked about Wesleyan and where they stand, trying to win 2 games in a row, currently tied for 8th in the league, 4-9. They're only 1 of 4 here on their home floor. But it is Bryan that has come in, maybe shocking some people. They are 5th preseason, currently find themselves in 1st place in the Appalachian Athletic Conference standings. So to say the Bulldogs will have their hands full is no under or overstatement here tonight. It's matter of fact the way it's going to be. As Bryan comes in 9-1 in the conference, they are 5-1 on the road and 11-4 overall. And again, this is always a tough battle between these two schools. Wesleyan trying to end the 4-game slide to the Lions, trying to flip the wins back into their favor. They'll move from our left to our right. Home white uniforms, blue numerals. Bryan going to be in dark black uniforms and dark red numerals with gray outline, it looks like. And the tip goes the Bulldogs' way. So starting off early will be Young with it on the possession. Gets a screen from Reed. Now Cordado sets a high screen as well. It's going to be Peyton West with it. Sends it left side to Hurst. Back out front. Randy Casey in his first season calling out the signals. Amari Young sends it out front to Hurst. Hurst, stutter step. Instead, he'll take the 3. Bounces up. No good. Rebounded, though, by Cordado. Goes up strong inside, and the Bulldogs are on the board first. 30 seconds into this one. And Tennessee Wesleyan up 2-0. It's going to be Bauer out front. Bauer gets it right back from Morrow. Now a drive kick. It's going to be Dye in the perimeter. Missed it. Reed collects the defensive board. Here comes West across midcourt. West pulls up for 3. Top of the key. Bounces off. No good. Rebound collected by Keller Dye. And the Lions will have another possession down the floor to tie it up. Bauer calling for a screen. Doesn't get it. They're trying to get Johnson free. Now he'll get it top of the key. Working against Young. Switch off with Reed. Cordado help defense. Might have affected the high shot there, as he and Reed were trying to provide some help defense on Young, for Young, who had gotten caught on the ball screen. West bounces it down to the big man, Cordado. Little sky hook is good. Cordado starts the Bulldogs off quickly. A minute and a half into this one, they lead at 4-0. Tennessee Wesleyan man-to-man defense. It's going to be Bauer handing it off here to Gales. Gales sends it left side, gets it to Dye. Now down low, Bauer working against Reed this time. It's going to be Corodado's guarding Dye. Reed trying to stay straight up, hook shot, and that one's going to be a goaltend as Corodado blocks it on the way down. Good thought, but it'll be Wesleyan ball. So it's a 4-2 game. Young, middle of the floor, looking, sends it to the left side. Now Young lobs it down low to Corodado. Little hook shot, no good. Hurst trying to get the rebound in front of Gales, and it'll go out of bounds off of Tennessee Wesleyan. Young going to be the man to key it in underneath. Slap of the ball, gets it into Hurst. Hurst, top of the key, sends it left side to West. Corodado, spin move on the baseline. Goes up strong on the left side this time, and it's good. Corodado has all 6 of the Wesleyan points and lead it by 4. Coach Rakowski steps up, calling out the signals. Again, his 20th season. Got opposite ends of the spectrum here in terms of years of service. Wesleyan, Randy Casey in his first. Rakowski in his 20th and final season at Bryan. Here's Gales off a back screen, gets the handoff. Reed picks him up, trying to go up into Reed. Forces the shot, missed it. Good defense by Jay Reed to stay put. Now quick corner pass, it goes to Hurst, back out to Reed. Reed trying to drive in, lose the handle on the way up, and he steps on the baseline trying to get the loose ball. So Wesleyan turns it over on their offensive possession. Still leading at 6-2. It's going to be Bauer out front, hands it off to Gales, now to Johnson. Back to Gales it goes, far right wing. Gales trying to take it off the dribble into the lane. And a late whistle there. Looked like Wesleyan had defended that one well, but Corodado is going to pick up his first, team first. Again, 6-2 your score here early. Gales steps to the line. Makes the first one. Cuts it to a 3-point game. Reigning conference, or leading conference scorer. And Gales converts both of them. It'll be a Young up the far side of the court. Looks back to Coach Casey for the signal, and they're set to run it. Young gets a high screen from Corodado, goes right side, gets to the block, spins again, drops it to Corodado in the paint. Little sky hook, baby hook is good once again. Corodado with all 8 points for the Bulldogs. Corodado averaging 4.7, doubling that up already here for the Bulldogs. Gales drops it to Morrow. Now they work it near side. Johnson takes the 3 off the backside. Rebound collected by Young. Tennessee Wesleyan 4 minutes played, leading it by 4. Corodado in the paint, finds Hurst open, far wing. 3-pointer no good. Collected here by Bryan. Johnson almost got the handoff from Bauer. Now Bauer away from the basket, looking for help. Gets it to Gales off a back screen. Blocked out of bounds by Corodado. Bryan will keep it. Corodado saw him have a turnover against Milligan late in that game. We're trying to get it inbounded. He much deserved rest coming off the bench right there, or coming to the bench. As Manny, as they call him, a slippage here by Johnson. And then a foul here on Jay Reed, got tied up with Bauer. Bauer felt like he was shooting, but he was not in the act of shooting. Bauer trying to get that one. He is the reigning conference player of the week. It's going to be Morrow to key it in underneath. Bauer gets it. Wesleyan also got number 12, Charles Neverton, into the ball game. Junior guard from Baltimore, Maryland. Bauer stuck in the lane against Reed. Good defense. Reed was straight up. Bauer looking for the call. Instead, Wesleyan going to try to push it. Here's Young to the 15-foot line at the free throw. Floater running down the lane, good for Amari Young. And the Bulldogs lead it by 6, their largest lead of the game. And timeout by Bryan is called. We'll take it with them here. Wesleyan up 10-4, 60-second timeout. We'll be back in 60. Back here at James L. Robb Gymnasium, first time out by Bryan as Wesleyan gets their largest lead at 6 points here. It's going to be Reed, Hurst, Neverton, Young, and West still out there for the Bulldogs. Bauer, Dye, Johnson, Morrow, and Gales, the starting 5, still out there for Bryan. It's going to be Morrow near corner 3, airballs it over the back, and the crowd in the dog pound over there in the student section letting him hear about it. Here's West, throws it off his home teammate's foot, and Reed now bounce pass to the low block to Hurst. Hurst double team, looking for help, steps through, shovels it to Reed. Reed's little floater in the lane, no good. Wesleyan showed promise there on that possession, just couldn't get it to fall. Down low feed to Dye, Neverton cut him off. Young trying to step in and block it, and that is converted off the glass by Dye. 10-6. 5.5 minutes played so far here in the first. Neverton off a back screen, gets another screen from Reed, step back 3. That's going to be short off the front rim. Hurst hustles for it and gives the Bulldogs a fresh 20 on the shot clock. Now it's West, far side. Top of the key, it's Hurst. Back to West. West pump fake, side steps, takes a 3 off the front iron. Another fresh 20. Neverton goes up strong. Misses that put back, ball knocked loose. Here's Reed, another fresh 20 for the Bulldogs. Amar Young with it, dribbling around. Young looking for some help. Young, pull up from the left side of the lane is good on the floater. Amar Young just floating through the air on that one. Here's Gales off a back screen. Gales, now it's Morrow giving it down to Bauer. Top of the key, Johnson for 3, off the mark. Rebound tipped around. It's going to be Young with it for Tennessee Wesleyan. Another missed opportunity here for the Bulldogs. Morrow comes flying in. Reverse lay-in is good for Morrow. And it's a 12-8 game. 12:50 to go here in the first half. Young with it, sends it left side. West for a corner 3, bounces up over the rim. Hurst collects it. Another good offensive rebound here by the Bulldogs. 15-footer for Jay Reed is good. He's into the scoring column. 12:30 to play and back to a 6-point advantage. Kick out, Dye. Now it's going to be Gales. Lobs it to the baseline to Bauer. Bauer trying to work, spins. Now Dye cuts off the double team against his teammate. And then fouled on the putback. This one's going to be on Charles Neverton. And it's going to put Keller Dye at the line. 68% shooter on the season. First one is good. Wesleyan will get 10. Rashawn Hampton into the ball game. As Keller Dye goes for another free throw, and this one's good. 14-10. Wesleyan has it on the perimeter. Hurst, now Cordado back into the ball game. Gets it to Hampton. Hampton now to Runyon. Runyon goes baseline, trying to get it to Cordado down low, and they'll say kick ball. Inbounds comes to Cordado. Runyon, Ty Runyon, number 5, local McMinn County graduate out there. 15 to shoot. Ty will run it out front, sophomore guard. Goes right side, a screen from Hurst. Bounces it down low to Cordado. Ball poked away, and Wesleyan couldn't catch up to it. 11.5 to go. Here's Gales. Kicks it out. They work it around the perimeter. Gales fires the triple, and this one off the short part of the rim. Wesleyan battling for it. Held ball, the signal. It will keep it with Bryan. Wesleyan had Hampton down there battling for it, and Hurst against Cole Torres. Going to clean up some moisture on the court, it looks like. Athletic Director Donnie Mayfield doubling up on that deal. Wesleyan's going to get Jay Reed, at least allows them to get him to the scorer's table. Ty Hurst will get a breather right here. He'll check out. Inbounds comes to Bauer. Bauer looking. Hands it off to number 4. And that's a foul on Wesleyan. Shooting foul. Let's see if it was 2 shots. Miguel Moore, number 4 on the program tonight. Had him at number 11. He'll go to the line. Ty Runyon picks up his first. Moore makes the first one. It's 14-11. Tennessee Wesleyan in front still, but now a 1-possession game as Moore at the stripe looking for another one. 64% shooter on the season, and he converts it. Wesleyan now with only a 2-point lead midway through the first half. It's going to be Hampton with it, brings it near side, gives it to Runyon, and Runyon cut off there by number 4, Moore. Moore is going to pick up his first. And the first on the Lions. So Hampton set the kid in for the Bulldogs, gets it into Reed, 11:05 to play. Shot clock reset to 20. It's going to be Runyon with it out front. Runyon looking back at Coach Casey, 10 to shoot. Got to get something going here, up by 2, 14-12. Cordado sets a screen. Runyon, step back 3 is in there. Ty Runyon with a big clutch 3-pointer. It's a 17-12 lead for Tennessee Wesleyan. Ball hit the deck momentarily. Bryan recovers it. It's going to be Moore with it. Loses the handle. Hampton right there with him. Hampton sends it, Bryan sends it over to the left side. They work it down low. Gales, a little back to the basket, caught it off the baseline pass and lays it in. 3-point game once again. Wesleyan's led by as many as 6. Hampton bounce pass across the top of the key, gets it to Cordado. Here's Runyon. Down low feed, it goes to Cordado. 10 to shoot. Finds Hampton open in the corner for 3 off the top of the backboard. Into play. Dye with it on the fast break. Euro steps through and scores the layup, and Bryan to within 1. 9:50 to play. Wesleyan up 17-16. Bryan on a little bit of a run here, an 8-3 run currently. Runyon's pass deflected. Bulldogs turn it over, and a dunk by Gales is missed. Wesleyan has even numbers if they can get inside. Gets it to Cordado. Cordado gets blocked from behind by Gales, going up and has it stripped by Bauer underneath. Triple team by the Lions forces the turnover by Tennessee Wesleyan. Here's Bauer, top of the key, drops it to Moore. Moore spins back to his right, pulls up 15-foot extended, and airballs it. Airballs it all. Amari Young coming to the table. We'll check back in for Runyon. It'll be Young to bring it up the court. Young Euro steps through the lane, gets blocked and fouled hard by Moore. We'll see if that's who they do indeed call it on Miguel Moore, a Memphis, Tennessee native. And that's going to send Amari Young to the line. 56.5% shooter from the stripe. Young taking his time at the line. First one is good. Pushes it back to at least a 2-point lead, 8:52. And Young converts both at the line, 3-point game. Wesleyan showing some full court pressure. Bryan trying to work it around the perimeter. Got 23, Yuta Yamamoto. So Bryan converts the three and knots us up at 19 apiece. Neverton with it on the perimeter, gets it over to Young. Young, he'll take the three, trying to answer back, and Amari Young does just that. Torres had been the man to make it previously for Bryan on the first trip. Here's Bauer, takes it off the dribble to the left block. Couple of pump fakes, he's able to kick it out. All of Wesleyan's defense had collapsed. Now a three-pointer by Johnson ties us back up. Second time we've been tied. This one at 22. Young walking it down the floor against Yamamoto. High post feed to Reed. Lob down to Corrado. Backside help by Torres. Gets the steal. Torres trying to make a drive in. Kicks it over. Yamamoto walks with it. Thought he didn't shuffle his feet, but he did. Great crowd on hand here. West coming back in. Students back in session, and of course Bryan bringing fans across from Dayton. A couple of subs coming back in. Trey Morrow back in here for the Lions. Young going to have the ball. 7:25 to go, first half action. Knotted up at 22 apiece. Hampton with it, left wing, now to Reed. Hand off to Hurst. Hurst goes left side, finds Hampton open. Corner three for Hampton is good. Bulldogs back in front by the triple. Bauer comes across half court, guarded by Reed. Looks to the left, gets it over to Johnson. Back to Bauer it goes, top of the key. He's going to work it to the other side of the floor. Now a drive by Torres, kicks out to Johnson. Quick pass, Yamamoto. And a blocking foul is going to be called on Hampton. Tennessee Wesleyan thought they had the steal, but nonetheless, it's going to be Rashawn Hampton's, let's see, fifth on the team, and missed one on Hampton. He's picked up his first. There it is. Backcourt toss to Yamamoto. Yamamoto dishes it off to Bauer. Now top of the key to Morrow. Yamamoto looking for somewhere to throw it, wanting to get it to Bauer in the short corner. They do, far side of the court. Bauer now puts it back to the basket. One to shoot, shot clock violation on the Lions. Wesleyan, good job defensively buckling down there. As Gales is going to return here for the Lions. He'll Trying to see who he replaced, but oh, Yamamoto. Nope, Yamamoto's still out there, so Torres is out of the ball game. Here's Young with it. Near side of the court. Out front, it's to West. West from the NAIA logo gives it down on the bounce to Young. Young spin move to the baseline. Fade away on the baseline is good. Nice little flip of the wrist, and the Bulldogs back in front by 5. 6:05 to play. Young going to D up Yamamoto right at half court. Reed picks up Bauer. Bauer with it. Hands it off to Cutting Gales. Gales flying in from 15 feet and draws the foul. And Gales kind of sailed that one very well. First on Young. Team 6th already. So 16 fouls for Tennessee Wesleyan. 2 for the Lions. And so it sends Gales to the stripe. Makes the first one. 27-23. 5:54 to play. Dye back into the ball game. Gales going for another one. And converts both of them. Gales 4 for 4 at the stripe. 3-point lead for the Bulldogs. West with it, moves it to the left. Bounce pass feed to Young. Young got tackled, no call. Out of bounds off of Johnson, they'll say instead. Young now to his feet. It's going to be Ty Hurst to key it in front of the Bulldog fans on the far side. 19 to shoot. Young catches it. Here comes a back screen for Hampton. Hampton catches the top of the key. West open. Now they get it to him on the left wing. He'll drop it back to Hampton. Hampton, left-hander, takes the left side shot, and it's good for 2. Rashawn Hampton with a 5-point lead for the Bulldogs. 5:25 to play. It's going to be Morrow out front, gets it to Bauer. Bauer dribbles it to the left side. Wanted to hand it to Gales, but he doesn't. Now it's going to be Bauer. Feeds it to a Cutting Johnson, and the easy lay-in behind his head for Johnson. Made it look easy at least. 5:04, and it's a 3-point game once again, 29-26. It's going to be West. Flips it to the left to Reed, now to Hampton. Gets a screen from Reed. Quick, low dribbles. Hampton, quick footwork. They'll reset the offense with 10 to shoot, 4:45 to play. Here's West. Goes in. Nice feed to Reed over the head. The assist to Peyton West on the made bucket. Wesleyan still with that 5-point lead. Trying to get a stop and get over that 5-point lead. 6 is the biggest they've led. Now a foul as Bauer lowered the shoulder going in. He'll get 2 shots, though. This one's going to be the second on Wesleyan's Jay Reed. And the 7th on the Bulldogs, so it'll be a 1-and-1 for the next 4:28 for Bryan. Bauer, first free throw, no good. Bounces off the back iron. So Bauer will have another attempt. 80% shooter. Does make the second one, so it's a 4-point game. 31-27. Young with it. Middle of the floor goes to Coronado, who's back in for Reed with his 2 fouls. Here's Young off a drive. Gets to the right block. Now trying to dump it down to Coronado, but was picked off by Bauer. He read it the whole way. He'll bring it up the court. Last man down, trying to go coast to coast. And Coronado, if he just keeps his arms straight up, will not commit that foul, but he did right there. So now Wesleyan's 2 big men with 2 fouls apiece. Reed and Coronado as Bauer steps back to the line. Bauer misses the first one. It's going to be Neverton coming back to the scores table for Wesleyan. His second one is good for Bauer. It's a 3-point game, 4:09 to play. Young catches it. Young across the time stripe. 4 minutes to play here. 31-28, Tennessee Wesleyan in front of Bryan. Young comes from the baseline, gets it between the circles. Now left wing, it's Neverton. Neverton gets a screen from Hurst. Step back, three-pointer for Neverton, too strong. Bounces hard off the backboard and rim and into the hands of Gales. Three-pointer by Johnson after the crossover, no good. Hurst collects the rebound and avoids turning the ankle on the rebound. Hurst is calling everyone off. He's going to bring it up with 3.5 to go. Hurst trying to go left side, step back 15-footer. Instead, he sends it right side to Hampton for three and just glances the front of the rim. Look good, just a foot short. Really 3 inches short as I will just, I think, glance the rim, but nonetheless, Bryan with the ball. Johnson gets it to a cutting Dye. Dye up and under, layup no good. Battling Hurst for it. Dye comes away with it, but no, it's Hampton. Wesleyan, a 3-on-2 break. Hampton, Euro step across the lane and throws it up with the left hand, no good. Got 3-on-1, got to dish that one off maybe. Gales going to draw the foul here against Ty Hurst, his first, team 8th. Team 9th, correction. So 1-1 as Hampton will check out. Ty Runyon back into the ball game. So Wesleyan has Hurst, Neverton, Young, West, and Runyon out there. Gales makes the first one. He thought he had missed it, so it's a 2-point game with 2:54 to play, 31-29. Second one for Gales is good, 31-30. Coach Casey calling out the signal. Runyon barks it out as well, and here comes West with it. Top of the key to Young. He drops it off. Young to the right side. Young into the paint, throws the shot, and they're going to call a travel. Young used the Euro step and jump stop there, but baseline official says he traveled with it and turns it over. Bulldogs with now 6 turnovers. Bauer, a little high arcing shot from the left side of the lane. Bulldogs somehow get it. It's Hurst that collects the rebound. Bounces it over to Young. Young floats through the lane again. This one just too strong once again. It's going to be Gales driving inside, trying to lay up with the right hand on the left side. It's missed. West collects the boards. Up to Young. Back to Runyon. Runyon over to Hurst. Unselfish basketball results in the easy lay-in. 3-point lead once again for Tennessee Wesleyan. And it's a full timeout coming for the Bulldogs. Up 33-30 with 2:02 to play. We'll be back in 60 seconds. WGSQ WLAR, Athens, Tennessee. Jared Wright here. Wesleyan clinging to a 3-point lead here against Bryan. 2 minutes to play now. As Bryan gets the inbounds after the Wesleyan timeout. Bulldogs have Neverton, West, Hurst, Young, and Runyon still out there for him. Bauer, Morrow, Johnson, Dye, and Gales out there for the Lions. Bauer works his way all the way in, and finger roll is good. He just methodically worked his way to the bucket. Wesleyan's lead now at 1, 33-32. It's Neverton, top of the key, bounces it to Runyon. Runyon gets free and gets fouled hard by Gales. Gales felt like he got all ball, but the body with him is what's going to pick up his first foul. That's the third on the Lions. And so Ty Runyon, again, the McMinn County native, 82% shooter on the season. First one is good for Ty. Of course, mentioned several times, he has played 1 year, his senior year, under Randy Casey at McMinn. And both of them talked about they'd love to have had some more, but now with the coaching change that's happened, it's going to be Bauer after the miss by Runyon. Three-pointer by Johnson, no good. Long rebound collected by Young before Morrow could get to it. Bulldogs Hurst with it now. Gets to the 15-foot line. Maybe some wet moisture on the floor. As Bulldogs Hurst slipped. West has it as they reset it. West into the paint, kicks it over to Runyon, goes baseline. Fouled on the baseline, and we'll say good call by that official. That one's going to be on Keller Dye, his first. Team fourth, 57.1 showing on your first half clock. Is Dye going to get the reason why he was called for the foul there. 20 seconds to shoot, 34-32. Wesleyan in front, led by as many as 6. Never trailed. Now a lob to Neverton off the inbounds. Couldn't get the dunk, but the putback no good either. Here's Gales into the paint. Hurst trying to block it from behind, couldn't do it. Dye gets the putback, no good though, and Runyon collects the defensive board. Good job by Ty Runyon helping Hurst out inside. 40 seconds to go. Wesleyan would love to make this a 2-possession game here. Here's West on the drive. Scoop shot on the right side is good for Peyton West. Senior from Cookeville, Tennessee, with 30 seconds to play, gets him to a 4-point advantage. West just worked his way all the way in. Wesleyan almost showing a 2-3 zone in a way, but really that's what they are, trying to little matchup zone. And that'll do it. Halftime, 36-32. We'll be right back. Bulldogs close out this first half up 36-32 against Bryan, as now the cheer team is performing a routine. First time we've had the cheer team back in full force here from the Christmas break, because they've had a couple of games canceled and students not able to move in as quick. But nonetheless, again, Wesleyan men up 36-32 at the half. We're going to go ahead and talk to Lady Bulldogs, since all the mess up there with the losing some internet connection, but now we're good to go. And go ahead and do our little halftime interview here as Jacelyn Stone, and whether she wanted to be here or not, I've conned her into being here either through coach or through her dad, Blake Travis, who I know, and sent him a text. But Jacelyn, one reason I want to talk to you, and we'll get into some more stuff, but you're the most recent 1,000-point member of the 1,000-point club, the 26th, which sounds like a lot, but when you've had a lot of success, it's going to successful teams over the years, you're going to have a lot of people, but that's a milestone for you. And talk to us, what does that mean for you, and kind of, is it good to get it maybe off your shoulders?
Yeah, I definitely think it's kind of a weight lifted off my shoulders, but honestly it doesn't feel any different. I'm still playing the same game and just enjoying the time that I've left playing these basketball games. But yeah, it's a big accomplishment, and I'm definitely blessed. But
Now, the game you did it was, I believe, against Milligan, if I'm not mistaken. All the games starting to run together this week for me, but you had a large cheering section for you across the gym. Did that put a little bit more pressure on you when you have a big following as normal? A lot of the Meigs County girls, y'all have a big group that comes and watches y'all, but it seems like more family and friends were over there that night. Did that add more to it?
There was definitely more people over there. Yeah, it put a little bit of pressure. I didn't really know how many points exactly I needed going in, but I knew I was close. And apparently Coach had told the girls I was close that night. But
7 is all you needed, 7. And maybe that's a good thing that you didn't know. My buddy Matt Harper, that he played here and he used to help me broadcast some, and Haiti's not with us this year too, but he would talk about how leading up, closer he got and knew it was attainable, he felt more pressure all the time. And so you kind of wonder if that happens, but if you don't even know how many you need, maybe you're not thinking about it as much.
Yeah. So. I knew I was close, and it does add a little bit of pressure. But honestly, I didn't want to know.
Obviously, I don't know that if you can remember back, but we've talked to you a couple of times. But the very first time we talked to you was during the COVID years and all that, and we were up at Bluefield, such a unique place to play. But as you reflect back on your 4 years here at Tennessee Wesleyan, and kind of from that Bluefield game where you came out on fire and one of your career high games up until that point. How have things changed for you now in your senior year, if you can think back?
I feel like that year I was just coming in as a freshman and there wasn't as much pressure. And this year I feel like a little more pressure being a senior and having to kind of help lead the team. But honestly, it feels the same playing. I feel like I was playing freshman year yesterday.
Well, that's a good. And I know you've battled some injuries here and there, and we've talked. I talked to Ty Hurst last game on WGSQ here halftime with Jacelyn Stone. That Ty, and we were talking about how the NCAA, of course, Wesleyan part of NAI, is essentially guaranteed another year of eligibility for some JUCO players. Obviously, you came here as a freshman, so it really wouldn't apply. But nonetheless, it seems like kids can stay around in college and play a lot longer nowadays, so the time feels like it flies by, but then at the same time it feels like, it takes forever, I'm sure. You were part of a package deal that previous head coach Jeff Rice is now director of golf. I think it's the official title. I mean, dream job for Jeff Rice right now, golf. And we'll get to the topic of golf here in a few minutes, but talk about again, you and J.C. Powell, the Crowder twins, Anna and Ella, and now Julia Howard's here from Meigs County. What has it been like? And who?
Tally.
And Tally Lawson, yep. I forgot. Yeah, Tally's here as well.
She'll get to play next month.
Next month, okay. Yep. So another Meigs County. But then you've got Barr, and you've got several that are from Polk County, Sweetwater, all that. What has it been like for you to maybe double up on the playing time with those individuals and teammates?
Yeah, even Abby Barr I've played with since I was in 5th grade.
Technical difficulty, but Wesley is coming out. Hold tight.
It's definitely a blessing to get to be able to play with all these people that I've played since I was really younger, and I really enjoy it. It's probably part of the main reason that I wanted to come to Wesleyan.
I mean, as a coach, Jeff Rice kind of hit the gold pot recruiting 4 Lady Tigers that were very successful coming in. Talk to us a little bit about being a leader on this team, and how are you trying to mentor somebody like Julia Howard, Tally Lawson, and Jalea Lindsay coming in as freshmen? Kind of, what has that role been like for you?
Really, I just try to kind of play as hard as I can and be somebody that they can count on and look up to whenever I can. Try to be someone that they can always come to if they need anything inside or outside of basketball. But I think I've liked the leadership role. It's been fun.
You're still top of my mind as far as one of the probably top 5 ball handlers I've got to watch in Tennessee Wesleyan history, and really probably on both sides, men's and women's. But what have you had that knack from a young age of just being able to get to the rim? I mean, we're not shying away. You're usually one of the smallest players. You know that, and there's nothing against that. But you have a knack for getting past a defender and to the rim better than a lot of guards I've ever watched.
I think me always being kind of the smallest one, I kind of, at a young age, I kind of had to find a way to get around that and be successful even though I'm the smallest one out there. And it's kind of just pushed me to be better even though that I'm like one of the smallest ones. I just, from a young age, I've had to overcome it.
Let's talk a little bit. Obviously, we referenced Coach Jeff Rice. He have moved, sidestepped, I guess you could say, to take over the director of golf position, coaching the boys golf team, but also helping Coach Harrison with the women's golf team. But you have Jason Smith that comes in with his success at Bryan and the known success in the conference. Talk to us a little bit about that transition for you as you're in your last year, kind of what that's been like for you and how you've navigated it.
It was definitely a big change. They kind of have polar opposite coaching styles, and they're very, very different. So it was a big adjustment for everybody.
As you can hear the fans in the background, Wesley, the mascot, is putting on a halftime show, and I don't know that I've ever seen the mascot go aerial, but 4 cheerleaders just lifted Wesley the dog up, and he's putting on a dance routine now here at halftime again. Guys up 36-32. We're with Jason Stone. And Coach Smith referenced this, talking back about Coach Smith, said he watched you kind of growing up, living in the Dayton area and stuff, dribbling basketballs around the neighborhood, stuff like that. So he knew about you before getting this job. Has that previous knowledge helped both of you all kind of work together?
We used to be neighbors who lived right beside each other. He said that he used to hear me dribbling the basketball outside every single day. I was like, yeah, sounds about right.
Maybe at that time that's frustrating, but now as a coach, it paid off.
I guess so.
Let's talk. I want to bring this topic of golf back up. And I've joked with your dad. I've talked to your dad, Blake, several times about this. I've talked to several in your family about this. I've talked to Coach Stan Harrison over the women's golf team here. You really have showcased that you could have been a dual sport athlete here at Tennessee Wesleyan. What is it about the golf game and your club champion up at Springbrook now here in town, or in Niota, I guess, in the county? Is that something you've always had, or just kind of where did the golf game come from?
Well, my family has kind of played golf growing up, but I never really picked up a golf club till freshman year of college. And it's just something that I started, and I've really enjoyed it, like off season in basketball. It's kind of something to have, something else to kind of focus on and get better at.
Now, Wesley is now using a lion mascot, and I hope that doesn't come back to bite us literally later on, but as the fans and the student section cheering here at halftime, Tennessee Wesleyan, as you can hear them, this gym gets loud, especially when it's packed like this. Now, I asked Coach Harrison, I played in a tournament with him over the summer, and I said, have you not gotten Stone to come out and play, and why is it that you wouldn't play?
Well, originally I told him that I didn't want to walk the courses, but he's wanting me to play this spring. I told him I'd think about it.
Well, I mean, if you're club champion and the way you've played, and women's golf is still an emerging sport, up and coming.
Yeah.
There's a ton of scholarships out there. I know you're at the end of your tenure on that, but being a former college golf team member, I can't say that I was a college golfer because I didn't do too much playing, but nonetheless, it was tough. As they have cranked the speakers up here, wow. It's different because, like you said, you're having to walk, and sometimes you're walking 36 holes as a hole, and sometimes you might get a cart to ride, but that would be huge.
Yeah.
Now, as a golfer, do you find any of the competitiveness from basketball transitioning to the golf course, or vice versa?
I think I'm just kind of a competitive person in general. Anything I do, I think I'm kind of competitive at. So I like how golf is kind of individual and you just kind of push yourself. And it's different from basketball because basketball is more of a team sport.
So obviously you're here as a student athlete. Talk to us real quick about your academics and what you're looking to do.
After this semester, I'll have my bachelor's in environmental biology. And
what are you planning to do?
Well, as of right now, I'm going to do a research program at Oak Ridge National Laboratory.
Yeah, there you go.
and then after that, I'll kind of see what I enjoy and what I want to do with it.
That's I know the Kilbride Nature Sanctuary. Have you gotten to use that over there in Ray County?
Yeah, I did an internship this past summer over at Kilbride. I enjoyed it a lot.
That is, of course, named after Bill Kilbride, long alum and trustee, and just a great donor for Tennessee Wesleyan that donated a piece of land out there on the river in Dayton and kind of that Ray County area. And it's been great for a lot of majors, not just the science majors. A lot of teams have used that. So, well, Jacelyn, I know the 1,000-point milestone's out of the way. You know, you're trying to close out this senior year, but nonetheless, thank you for joining us once again, and best of luck the rest of the season.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
So Jacelyn Stone, the senior point guard here for the Lady Bulldogs, new 1,000-point scorer as of the Milligan game last week. Only needed 7 points to get to that milestone, but nonetheless, she's going to help the Lady Bulldogs and help them get back into the win column coming up this week. So let's go ahead. Let's take a 60-second break here, and then we'll bring you some first-half stats as we close out halftime a little bit. Back in 60. Back here in James L. Robb Gymnasium, Jared Wright bringing the action, and you got some new people on the soundboard, it sounds like, down there at the press table, and maybe got some serenaded by some music that's not normally on WJSQ. It's normally the music America loves, but nonetheless, we're at halftime. 36-32, Tennessee Wesleyan in front of Bryan right here. Going to have to use a big second half to close out the #1 team in the conference currently. Bulldogs shooting 45.5% from the floor. Bryan shooting 32%. Both teams in the low 20s for three-point percentage, and Wesleyan 75% from the free throw line, 85% for Bryan from the line. Wesleyan's turned it over 6 times compared to 3 for Bryan. Wesleyan out-rebounded them 20-15 as well. They've assisted, both teams assisting on 5 made shots. And steals, it's Bryan with 4, Wesleyan with only 1 coming up. So both teams 10 points apiece in the paint. Wesleyan led by Amari Young with 11, Dalen Gales with 8 for the Lions. Wesleyan opens with the ball, first possession, and Ty Hurst is going to connect quickly on the three-point line and pushes the lead to 7. That's the largest of the ball game for Tennessee Wesleyan. 30 seconds gone so far. Down low, it's Dye with it. Kicks out. Morrow, three-pointer in the near corner, missed. Bulldogs have Young, Cordado, Reed, West, and Hurst. They're starting 5 from the first half. Morrow, Johnson, Bauer, Dye, and Gales. They're starting 5 for Bryan back out there. Kick out, Hurst. Thought about another one. Gets Gales on his feet, spins away from him, goes in. Layup no good, but he'll draw the foul. And let's see, this one's going to be on Gales, trying to recover. He picks up his second. Team first of the half as Johnson comes back to talk to Coach Rakowski. Hurst, first 4 points of the first half, or second half, or for Ty Hurst, he makes the first free throw. Knoxville Carter native, knocks in the second one. So 9-point advantage for the Bulldogs. 14:04 to play. 41-32. Minute played here in the second. Bauer hands it off to Gales. Gales trying to get going, spins into the paint. Wesleyan had good defensive presence, triple team, but it's going to be Young that picks up his second, and at least the silver lining in that foul on the first Wesleyan team foul is that Coronado, who looks like he's going to get called for the foul because he left his feet, doesn't pick up his third. So silver lining there is the free throw is missed by Gales. So Gales will step back to the line for two, or for the second one. Bryan has sent all of their rebounders back already. That's a late game situation normally. It's 41-33. Been a minute 10 gone so far here in the second half. Hurst with it left side. He's got first 5 points by the Bulldogs. It's going to be Coronado away from the basket. Gets it back to Hurst. Hurst had an open look. Instead passes it off. Young in the near corner. Back to Hurst. He has him on the left wing for three. Just short. Looked good the whole way, but just bounces up off the front of the rim. Here's Gales trying to cut inside. Instead, he'll back it out to Bauer. Now Morrow on the wing. Bauer goes to the left side, hands it off to Gales. Bauer looking around for help. Jay Reed out there on him. Now Johnson catches it. Gales trying to go baseline. Hurst cuts him off, and that's a travel. Good defensive presence by Hurst, and then Coronado helping on the call there. It's going to be Young bringing it up the court. Young cross half court, double high screen. He goes to the right, now comes back to the left. Lobs it over to West off the pick and roll. Down low to Coronado working against Bauer. Left hand lay-in is good for the Spaniard. 10-point lead, the largest of the game. Bauer stuck on the left wing inside the arc. Now he'll kick it out to Dye. Dye with it, working. Bounces it out to Bauer in the short corner. It's going to be Gales to take a three. Karam's off to the right. Rebound collected by Coronado. Reed quickly on the outlet from Hurst. Back to Hurst it goes. Hurst drive kicks to West for three. Bounces up and off, and Coronado trying to get the rebound. Looks like the officials may talk this one over as Coronado thought Bryan punched it out from under him. And they switch it. It is Wesleyan ball. Rakowski at midcourt upset with the signal. So it'll be Wesleyan's ball underneath, 20 on the shot clock. Young with it out front. They work it around. Hurst from the corner for three, bounces up and over, and Dye with the position on Reed will clear it out for Bryan. Bauer, top of the key. Gets it to Johnson. Johnson had it poked away by West. Now Hurst picks it up to West. West goes up against Morrow and takes the bucket. 12-point advantage. Bulldogs starting to pull away, and it's a timeout called by Bryan with a 12-point lead by Tennessee Wesleyan. We'll take the timeout with them. 45-33, Wesleyan in front, back in 30 seconds. Wesleyan up 45-33. 12-point advantage, largest lead of the game. Ty Hurst has been the man leading the way. He's got 7. Most of those coming here in the second half. Starting this half on a 9-1 run. As Bryan had seen enough of that. Rakowski calling a timeout. Randy Casey still talking to his team and trying to figure out if they can keep this momentum going against the #1 team in the conference. Want to go ahead and let you know that as long as weather doesn't cancel anything, our next broadcast will be McMinn County at Cleveland on Friday night. So that one is, of course, slated to be played on Friday night. McMinn County has been out of school all week. Will still be out of school tomorrow night, or tomorrow. And so if Friday is canceled, potential that the Cleveland game does get postponed as well. So we will stay tuned to that to see what happens. Bryan ball out of the timeout. They get Moore back into the ball game. He runs the point here. It's going to be Moore up top with Bauer, passing it back and forth they go. Bauer with it between the legs, now gets it to Morrow, top of the key, 10 to shoot. Johnson drive, dishes back behind him to Gales, and Gales hits a three right in front of Tennessee Wesleyan's West. Just a tough shot, was defended well. And now an offensive foul called on Wesleyan's Coronado on the other end. Coronado with 3 fouls will check out as Neverton will check in for him. And that one is tough for the Bulldogs. Coronado been playing very well. Here's Bauer, top of the key, gets it to Johnson on the right wing, back-to-back threes. Cuts it to a 6-point game. Bryan showing why they are the #1 team in the conference. It's 45-39. West with it on the perimeter. 2-3 zone shown by the Lions. Here's Hurst, overplay, gets it to West, drives in, kicks it out. Ball fake by Young. Gets it to West, right wing. Now the pass intercepted by Morrow. Neverton poked it away, but Morrow saves it. 4.5 minutes played here in the second half, and it's flipped on Tennessee Wesleyan right now. Baseline feed into the corner. Moore's three-pointer, no good. Morrow chases it down. He'll try to go in, shovel pass to Gales, and Gales lays it in. And you can hear how many Bryan Line fans are in attendance. And it's 45-40-41. And Bryan bench clears the floor trying to run out to congratulate them, but Lions a battle back. It's timeout on the court. Wesleyan 45, Bryan 41. We'll be back in 30 seconds. Back in 30. Back here out of the timeout from Bryan as they have clawed back into this one. As we talked about it, Wesley's halftime show might have been premature. Wesleyan turns it over in the front court. Now Hurst steals it right back at the half-court line. Reed goes up. Reverse lay-in is good for Jay Reed. Wesleyan back in front, 47-41. Now you hear the Bulldog faithful on the far side cheering defense, and Wesleyan is going to commit the foul. Peyton West picks up his first, team third. Rashawn Hampton back into the game for West. It's going to be Moore to catch the inbounds. Sends it left side. Now Gales, a deep three. That one off to the right side. Wesleyan's Reed inside the arc. Young with it up front. Young looks to his left to Hurst, gets it to him. Bounces it down low to Reed. Reed back to the basket, trying to work against Morrow. Fade away on the baseline is good on the jumper. 49-41, Bulldogs in front. 6 minutes gone. Three-pointer by Johnson. He drills that one for Bryan to answer right back. That's a 5-point game. Neverton sends it left side. Hurst looks. Now Hampton top of the key. Left open, he'll drive in. Bounce pass on the cut to Reed on the baseline. Reed gets fouled, but no whistle, and the ball turned over to Bryan. It's going to be Bauer with it instead. Bauer goes flying in and draws the foul. Wesleyan Going to see Jay Reed pick up his third. So again, both big men with 3 fouls apiece for the Bulldogs. Bauer's going to step to the line. Coach Randy Casey talking to the official, trying to figure this one out. Bauer makes the first one. 49-45. And converts both. So a 3-point game. Wesleyan led by as many as 12 just 3 minutes ago. Now it's Reed. Cuts inside, kicks it to Neverton. Double teamed out of the 2-3 zone. Here's Hurst. Hurst goes to the left wing. Now Neverton. Ball fake. Kicks it over. Hampton. 3-pointer on the way for the lefty. No good. Gets his own board. Got fouled on the rebound. And it's going to be Wesleyan ball. Say it rolled out of bounds off of Bryan. Bryan fans and bench upset. And official tells them to calm down. Here's Young. Young with it out front, looks left side, Neverton. He'll take the deep three. This one from the AAC logo. Hurst gets the rebound in front of Gales. Hurst back to Reed, 15-footer. Reed short on it. Hampton with a big rebound. Bauer and Hampton. It's going to go out of bounds off of Hampton. Rashawn Hampton battling big time. Warning on somebody from Bryan, it looked like, or the whole bench from Bryan. Nonetheless, Wesleyan looks like they're going to send Ty Runyon back in. They are. He's going to give Young a breather. So Ty Runyon back in. .12:50 to play. It's 49-46, Tennessee Wesleyan in front. Right side, Moore lobs it down to Bauer. Bauer on the lay-in is good. It's 49-48. 12.5 to go, 1-point game. Not the first time we've been here. Runyon gonna get called. Nope, it's a held ball. And possession arrow will give it to Bryan. Bryan trying to take their first lead of the night. Here's Moore with it. Now a drive, left side, Moore. Gets fouled on the take. It looks like Neverton was straight up following him, but they're going to get Charles Neverton with the foul. His second, team fifth. And so here's Raleigh Moore, chance to tie it and take the lead. He makes the first one. We're tied up for the third time tonight. 49 apiece on this one with 12:14 to play. It's Moore. Gives Bryan their first lead. It's 50-49. Wesleyan can take it right back. Here's Hampton. Out front, guarded by Moore. Wesleyan trying to get some offense going. They started out quickly on a 9-1 run in the second half, but it slowed much to their grin. Kick out, Hurst, far corner. Hurst pulls up, 15-foot line extended, and the Bulldogs back in front by one. 51-50. Now a take by Bauer, misses. Reed pulls off the rebound. Reed bounces over Hampton, now to Neverton. Neverton for three, in and out that one goes. Hit the back iron from the side and falls into the hands of Bauer, who brings it across the time stripe. Johnson looks around. Spin move by Moore, blocked by number 4, Reed, and out of bounds off of the Bulldogs. Cordado back into the game. Reed will check out with his 3 fouls, so it's just a little 3 fouls for each. Bounce pass into Johnson, misses the lay-in, tips it out of bounds in front of Runyon. Really could have been a foul called, but nonetheless, Bulldogs will have it. Runyon with it out front. Runyon bounce pass Cordado to the high post. Gets it back to Hampton. Hampton free throw line looking for help. Kicks it out left wing to Hurst. Hurst drives, double pumps. Shot off the mark on the front. Rebound chased for. Out of bounds off of Bryan. So Hurst key it in. Hampton, kick ball. Good hands by the ref, saving press row right there. Kick ball off of Moore. The ref throws the hand up. Here comes Runyon. Runyon spin move, free to the left side. Might have walked with it. He thought he did, so he threw it away. Now Hurst gets the ball. And a technical foul called on the Bryan bench. And a technical foul is going to be assessed to the bench. And they were upset. Don Rakowski, of course, his 20th year. He's been around a lot. His team, it goes to the head coach even if it's on the bench. So Hurst misses the first one. .51-50 still, 10:43 to play. A lot of basketball left in this game. Hurst does make the second one of the technical foul shots. Now Runyon will check out. Young back in. So it counts as a team foul as well. So there'll be 2 team fouls. Wesleyan table making sure of that. Good job checking on that one. Here's Hurst to key it in. Far side out of bounds. Wesleyan clinging to a 2-point lead. Again, their 12-point lead. With 16 minutes to play, so over 6 minutes they've lost it by 10. They're still with the lead. Bryan has had it once, and now they get the turnover. Moore with it, sends it right side to Bauer. Bauer trying to take Hampton off the dribble. Touch pass. Torres misses a long 3 out of bounds off of Wesleyan. And Bryan will have it underneath with fresh 20 shot clock. Peyton West coming into the game. He'll replace Neverton. Wesleyan trying to match up here with West, Hurst, Young, Hampton, and Cordado in. Out front, it's going to be Bauer with it. Bauer hands it to Moore. Wesleyan, man-to-man defense shown. Back to the basket, Bauer against West. That was a mismatch. Instead, they flick it to Torres, and Torres is going to airball a 3. West battling Bauer for the rebound, and Peyton West did a good job of letting that one run out of bounds. Prevented Bauer from getting there. 10:03 to play. 52-50. Again, Bryan scores an 82 points a game. Wesleyan 77 points a game. It's been more defensive effort from both teams tonight. Young lost the handle, regains it. Guarded there by Torres. Young goes in, drop pass to Cordado, gets hit on the way up, and he'll get 2 free throws. This one's going to be on their 22, Morrow, his first. Team third. Cordado even to himself said, I should have just dunked that one. Would have been a big momentum play for the Bulldogs. Would have got the crowd back in on this one. Or even more so. Cordado misses the first free throw. Got some Bryan fans right in front of us, and you could hear that bothering Coronado. This time, bounces up and off to the right, rebounded by Dye. Here's Morrow across the time stripe, hands it off to Gales. Gales out front to Bauer. Now Gales scores on the right side lay-in. Knotted up at 52 apiece with 9:30 to play. Corner three for Hampton, answers just right back, and the Bulldogs back above with a 3-point lead. 55-52. Backdoor cut by Morrow. They're going to get fouled by Hampton, and it's an and-one situation. Basket is good, the official says, and Hampton's going to pick up his second. Sean Hampton. The foul is going to give him a 3-point play opportunity. Trey Morrow at the line, 80% shooter from Scott County, Tennessee. And he missed it. Bulldogs still with a 1-point advantage, 55-54. 9 minutes to go. Here's Young. Young, quick crossover. Sends it over to Hurst. Hurst, quick touch pass, Coronado over to Hampton. Opposite corner, he knocks down another three. Bulldogs up by 4. Sean Hampton filling it from behind the arc. Averages 44% on the year. Johnson answers right back for Bryan, though, and it's a 1-point game. Wesleyan and Bryan battling. AAC rivalry. Coronado high post back to West, now to Young. Young gets a good screen, step back three, and another one. Amari Young hits the third straight three ball for Tennessee Wesleyan. Back in front by 4. Sean Hampton's hit 2, and then Amari Young gets into the action. Young with 14 points. Hampton with 11 to lead all scores, or lead all Bulldog scores. Hard screen from Dye against West. West now just picks the pocket of Johnson. Good help defense by Coronado. West over to Hampton, sidesteps the defender. Three-pointer off the side of the backboard. And the Bulldogs' momentum was on their side. Now Bryan trying to answer back. Johnson gets blocked on the three-point line. It's Gales that picks up the loose ball and drills it. Both teams trading three-pointers back and forth, back and forth. Wesleyan still up 1, 61-60, 7.5 to play. Now a foul as West got clobbered by Johnson. Young gets it, step side three, no good. Bulldogs 0 for 2 on their last trip. Young hit the deck hard. Here's Morrow. Morrow goes in, scores the lay-in, and the Lions are back in front, 62-61. 7:11 to play, and there's a timeout on the court. We'll see. It's a full timeout, so Bryan up 62-61. We'll take a 60-second break. Back in 60 seconds. Back here from James L. Robb Gymnasium, and this one between the first place Bryan Lions and the currently tied for 8th Bulldogs going down to the wire. Of course, there's still 7 minutes and 11 seconds left in this one. But nonetheless, Wesleyan and Bryan trading three-point baskets. It's Bryan currently in the lead, though, 62-61. Bulldogs can regain it. Young in the lane, floater no good, ball tipped up. Bauer with it, and Bryan can extend their largest lead once they've had the lead twice, both at 1. Wesleyan led by as many as 12. Now Morrow has it on the floor, just picked up by Neverton. Bulldogs do not have numbers, but Neverton tries to dribble it between two lines and battled for on the baseline. Held ball, the signal, and possession arrow does give it to Tennessee Wesleyan, or keep it there at least. Shot clock will stay at 23 since it was above the 20-second switch. Young catches it, gets it to Hurst at the free throw line. Hurst gets Gales up. Jumper, no good. Neverton chasing it down from Corodado's tip. And the Bulldogs, last couple of trips down, have fallen void after the Amari Young three. Johnson, though, lobs it into Bauer, top of the key. Morrow for three. Off the iron, no good. Rebound poked out and into the hands of Amari Young. Hurst brings it near side, calling for West to come get it. West, head fake, now he'll dribble to his right, kicks it up to Young. Coronado battling Bauer on that low post. Back over to West, takes a deep three, gets fouled as the three-point shooter. Dye didn't let him collect his feet, and Dye's gonna pick up his second. That's gonna give Peyton West, the senior from Cookeville, Tennessee, a chance for three at the line. 71% shooter on the season. Peyton West getting set as Jay Reed's coming back to the scorer's table. Peyton West's first free throw is good. Knots this game up for the fourth time at 62 all. This go around, 5:55 to play. West makes the second one, gives the Bulldogs the lead right back. And West going to try to make it 2-point game. And he converts them all. Love to see it from the senior guard. It's Morrow bringing it up the floor here for the Lions. Drops it over to Bauer off the left hip. Here's Morrow with it again on the right wing. Bauer called for it. Johnson off a back screen, and he gets fouled on the jump shot, and that one's on Hurst. That's Ty's second, team 7th already. So this is going to send Ian Johnson to the stripe, 78% shooter on the season. First trip there tonight, he's got 14 points already. Johnson's first one in and out, it goes. Bulldog fans cheering on that one. Johnson's second one on the way, and it will fall in. 64-63, Tennessee Wesleyan still in front, 5:40 to play. They've led the majority of the ball game. Just got to close out another one. Been kind of their Achilles heel this year. Had some they've not been able to close out in the second half late. See if they can overcome that now. Hurst, drives, kicks out to Young. Young dishes it to West. Quick pull on the three, and it's good. Peyton West with the last 6 Bulldog points, coming from behind the arc and at the charity stripe. Now a drive by Bauer. Layup no good on the left side. Jay Reed right there with him. Hurst able to come away with it and throw it away before he commits the travel. Young walking it up the floor. Under 5 we go. 67-63. West going back to back, and he does from downtown. 7-point lead, 4:42 to play. And Peyton West putting the Bulldogs on his shoulders there, making the 3 free throws and then back-to-back three-pointers for Peyton West. And the Bulldogs lead at 70-63 with a full timeout on the court. We'll take it with them here. 60 seconds and we're back. WJSQ, WLAR, Athens, Tennessee. Jared Wright here. The Bulldogs taking Peyton West 3-ball and used it well to build a 7-point lead. He got fouled at the 3-point line, so made 3 free throws. Then hit a right wing 3 and the top of the key 3 from downtown. And now we got a stoppage of play. Bryan bench getting in trouble for talking a little bit down there at the bottom. Official stop play. They'll restart it, but Peyton West has the Bulldogs with a 7-point lead, 70-63. 4.5 to play. Here's Johnson. West right there with him. Now Bauer, short corner, far side. It's West trying to poke it away from Johnson. He does briefly. Shot clock at 3. Johnson going to have to heave it at the buzzer. Karam's off to the left into the hands of Cordado, and Hurst has it. And Bulldogs going to try to run some clock here. Up 7 with 4 to play. Young at the Bulldog logo at midcourt. Works it to the left side. Cordado had set him a screen, but Bryan recovered well on it. Here's Young. Up and under. Can get the roll, and it's good. Amari Young, a little pump fake as he was trying to fade away, but kept his pivot foot down and kind of goes up and under to the defender to score the finger roll. Now another one poked away by West from behind. Peyton West, layup on the right side. That's a goal 10. That's good. 74-63. Bulldogs back in front by 11 now. Again, Bryan, the #1 team in the conference currently. 11-4 overall, 9-1 in conference play. Bulldogs find themselves at 3-5 in the conference and a tie for 8th. (74-63). Wesleyan man-to-man defense. It's going to be Gales driving. He's going to get bumped on the take. This one's going to be on West. Peyton's going to pick up his second. Peyton West with 15 points. He's got 3 rebounds and an assist. A couple of steals also coming to his credit. Mar Young with 16 points. It's Dalen Gales who's at the line with 19 points. 1 shy of his season average, or 2 roughly, as he misses the first of the 1-and-1. Young gonna walk it up. 3 minutes to go. Wesleyan up 11. And it's number 11 that hands it off to 20, Peyton West. West now to Reed, a little 3-man weave, top of the key. West waits on Young waits on the screen from Cordado. Young fights through 3 defenders, tries to get a finger roll off, can't do it. Shovel pass from Moore on the rebound, gets it out. Now Gales in transition, gets it to Johnson. 3-pointers in for Ian Johnson, 74-66. With 2:37 to play, and Bryan has taken a 30-second timeout. We'll just stay here with you through that one. Bulldogs up 74-66. Again, our next broadcast here on WJSQ for basketball will be Friday night. Men's supposed to be heading to Cleveland Raider Arena for a District 5 4A matchup. As long as nothing gets that one canceled for weather, that will be our first game in the new year for McMinn County. We had the Ray County one get postponed till February 11th. Waiting on some other schedule adjustments from them to see what happens, but that's when we will be back on the air with basketball coverage this week. McMinn County trying to get back in a rhythm if they can. A lot of games, of course, for a lot of teams being canceled over the last couple of weeks due to weather. All right, it's Wesleyan's ball, 2:37 to play, 74-66. Full court press shown by the Lions. Double teamed is Jay Reed. Jay Reed looking to get it out. Skip pass over to Cordado at midcourt. Cordado gets it to West. Left wing 3 out of the press break is good. Peyton West is just filling it here tonight with another 3-ball to his credit. 77-66. Peyton West, he's 3 of 7 by the official stats, but they've been clutch 3-pointers. Tip pass by Moore. Bryan recollects it. Here's Gales. He tries to answer back with a 3, and he does. 77-69, and another timeout by Bryan. This one will be a full timeout with 2:02 to play. We'll take it with them back in 60 seconds. 2:02 to play in this one. 77-69. Bulldogs in front of the Lions from Bryan College. Both teams trading some three balls. Now Dye catches the inbounds. He travels with it. Yep, caught it and fell to the ground. Bulldogs are trying to get it into Jay Reed in the backcourt. So it'll be the Bulldogs side out of bounds here. Reed gives a thumbs up to Coach Casey, who's just checking to make sure he was good, as he and Killer Dye kind of collided for that loose ball. Now Cordato and Bauer trying to battle underneath, and looks like official going to stop for some moisture on the floor. So they don't get the full reset, they say, on the shot clock. So it's at 20. Looks like Dye turned it over in the Wesleyan's front court, so that's why it's not the full 30-second. So 2 minutes showing exactly on the game clock, 77-69. Bulldogs trying to get it inbounds. Young catches it near the mid-stripe, working against Moore. Moore bumping him a little bit. Here's Hurst on the handoff. Hurst looking for some help, gets it to Reed in the far corner. Reed brings it back out front. Wesleyan just trying to play a little keep away. 6 to shoot. Hurst 15-foot line. Missed it, ball tipped up by Cordato, but it's Johnson that comes away with it for the Lions. Johnson trying to take West on. West with 2 fouls to his credit. You got Reed and Cordato with 3 apiece. Dye steps into a 3 and misses it. Amari Young skies for the rebound. Crosses up. Dye gets free across the half line. Now to West. And Coach Casey says push it back out front with an 8-point lead. Make them foul you, and it's a team foul right here. It's only going to be the 5th. This one's going to be the 3rd on Killer Dye. 1:16 to play. Some of the Bryan fans starting to head to the exits, they say. Hurst to key it in. Of course, 2 more team fouls would put Wesleyan at the line. West gets the inbounds, gets fouled here. And let's see, that one's going to be on Johnson, his first, team 6th. So 1 more would put Wesleyan at the charity stripe. Reed's going to be the man to catch this one and gets the 4th foul against Dye. And so Jay Reed is going to step to the line. Wesleyan with 5 players in double figures, led by Peyton West, 18 points, 16 points by Amari Young. It's Dalen Gales with 22 points for Bryan, 18 points by Ian Johnson. As Reed converts the first free throw. 1:13 to play in a 9-point game. And the second one is good by Jay Reed. It's a 10-point game with 1:13 to play, and Coach Casey wants to talk it over, make sure his team knows how to close this one out. Full timeout on the court. Wesleyan up 79-69. We'll be back in 60 seconds, back in 60. .113 to play. Wesleyan in front, 79-69. It's been probably one of the best games we've seen, at least in our really only 2 games we've covered with them so far. We had a CIU game from Saturday get canceled. That's going to be on Monday night, this coming Monday. So It's going to be an interesting Monday, Martin Luther King Day, Inauguration Day, College Football Championship game, and we'll have Tennessee Wesleyan basketball as CIU comes to town. 1:10 to play now as Bryan gets it into their front court. It's Moore to Gales. Gales is their go-to guy. He dumps it off to Torres. Torres missed it. Gales gets an offensive putback on the right side. He misses. Ball battled for, held ball the call, and it will be staying with the Lions of Bryan with 57.6 remaining and 20 showing on the reset on the game clock, or shot clock. Moore to key it in. Lob in. It comes to Bauer, waiting on somebody else to come get it. Bauer now looking around, 15 seconds to shoot. Johnson, a couple of pump fakes. He couldn't get free. Now a give and go. Layup no good as Johnson hits the deck, and Wesleyan's Jay Reed fouled on the baseline on the rebound. So Wesleyan 45 seconds away from knocking off the #1 team and earning the split on the season. Good chance these two may end up seeing each other later if Wesleyan can continue some winning in the conference and at least be one of the top teams in Kingsport, or getting a ticket into Kingsport to play. There's many teams that have been added on the men's and women's side. Not all teams go to the conference tournament anymore. Reed makes the first of the 1-and-1. 45.1. It would take a miracle for Bryan right now. And Reed converts the second one. A little pump fake at the free throw line, or hesitation move. Got Bryan to jump in there. 12-point lead. Moore trying to take it all the way down. Now it's Bauer, takes a three, misses it. Young pulls it. And then Gales is going to commit the foul in frustration at the end, but 36.7, and it's going to send Amari Young to the stripe. See if he can tie Peyton West for the Bulldog leading score, if he can knock down 2 more free throws. You can hear the Bulldog student section, AKA the Dog Pound, starting with the goodbye chants already, as Young does make the first one. 82 points for the Bulldogs. Now the 13-point lead is their largest, and a perfect time for it to happen. Young converts both. He and West tied at 18 points apiece. Bryan with it. It's Bauer trying to hand it off to somebody. Looking for help, gets it to Johnson. Sets a hard screen for Johnson to get an open three and missed it. Moore collects the rebound, kicks out. Gales, right wing three, no good. Young gets the rebound and gets fouled here by Bauer, as he was just kind of toying with it between the legs a couple of times. And Lamar Young's going to have another trip to the line with 17.4. And Wesleyan, the wins have been few for them this season. Only going to be their 5th win of the year, but none of them as big as this one, as you defeat the #1 team in the conference, who had only lost 1 game in conference play, and that was against Pikeville, who Tennessee Wesleyan will have Saturday. As Young converts the first of 2. 17.4 showing on the game clock. Young, couple of deep breaths at the line. Looking at .20 if he can convert that, and he does. 20 points for Lawrenceburg, Tennessee native. Here's Gales off a back screen, 11 to shoot. Layup is good for Gales on the right side. Down to a 14-point game. And the Bulldogs are going to knock off Bryan. Ends the 4-game losing streak to the Lions. And the Bulldogs have finally won 2 in a row again. And their 2nd win at home. 4-5 in conference play now, 5-9 overall. Bryan drops to 11-5. They snapped their 8-game winning streak. They are 5-2 on the road and now 9-2 inside the conference play. They still will be up there as one of the top teams in the conference to beat as this season continues to traverse on. But nonetheless, the Bulldogs with a signature win here in Randy Casey's tenure. Again, final score, Tennessee Wesleyan 85, Bryan 71 here from James L. Robb. Let's take a 2.5-minute break, and then we'll be back with some final stats, and we'll see if the elated Coach Casey can make his way up here and talk to us a little bit at postgame. But back in 2.5 minutes here from James L. Robb. Back here from James L. Robb Gymnasium, where everyone's elated if you're in blue and white, and the Bulldog blue and white that is they come out with the biggest win of the year for this men's team, 85-71 against the number 1 team in the conference currently, as Tennessee Wesleyan handles Bryan and really did it from the get-go. They led by as many in the first half as 6. That was early in the first half. Bryan cut it back to 1, had a couple of ties midway through the first half, and then Wesleyan starts a 9-1 run in the second half and then closes out, let's see if I can calculate this real quick, a 24-11 run to end it in the final 8.5 minutes. So Tennessee Wesleyan was clicking on a lot of cylinders here tonight as the Bulldogs, with a chance to play here in front of probably the largest crowd we have seen at home all year for them, and they get it done in convincing fashion. Let's look at the team stats for you. As Randy Casey has said, he's going to make his way up to us, so hopefully we'll get him up here. Bulldogs and the Lions from the field, both of them shooting, well, let's see, Lions shoot 35%, 22 of 62. Tennessee Wesleyan 29 of 63, 46%. Tennessee Wesleyan from behind the arc, paced by Peyton West back there, 10 of 28, 35.7%. Bryan shoots 9 of 29, 31%. Free throws, 18 of 24, 75% for Bryan, 81%, 17 of 21 by the Bulldogs. And the clutch part of that is they're knocking down all of them at the end of the game when the game's on the line, knocking down most of those. Turnovers, it's 9 for the Lions, 10 for the Bulldogs. Wesleyan gets 11 points off of the 9. Bryan gets 11 points off of 10 turnovers by Wesleyan. Bulldogs still out-rebound the Lions 37-34. 11 offensive, 26 defensive for the Bulldogs. 13 offensive, 21 defensive for the Lions. Assisted shots, Wesleyan assisting on 13 of 29 made shots. Lions 14 of 22 made shots. Blocks 5-1 in favor of the Bulldogs. They had some big key blocks down the stretch. 8 steals for the Lions, only 5 for the Bulldogs. Team fouls, it's always one to look at when it's lopsided, but 17-13, Wesleyan has 4 more in that category, so nothing there. Bench points, it's 15-7, the Bulldogs outscore them. Second chance points, the Lions get the nod there, 16-9. Points in the paint, 2 better for the Lions, 22-20. Of course, leading the way in all scoring columns was Dalen Gales, 24 points for the leading scorer in the conference. He had 4 rebounds and an assist. 18 points by Ian Johnson for Bryan as well. He was 6 of 16 from the line, from the field, 5 of 12 behind the arc. 10 points by Josh Bauer. He was 4 of 6 from the line. He also had 11 rebounds for the double-double night and 7 assists by the big man. On the other side for the Bulldogs, it was Amari Young. He paced him with 20 points, none bigger than the clutch ones at the free throw line down the stretch to put this game away. 6 of 11 from the field, 2 of 4 behind the arc, and 6 of 6 from that charity stripe. 8 rebounds for the point guard along with 3 assists. 18 points by Peyton West. He had it going from 3 when the Bulldogs needed it most. 6 of 10 from the field, 3 of 7 behind the arc, 3 of 3 from the charity stripe, and 3 rebounds and an assist. And those 3 free throws coming after the foul on the 3-point shot that he had against Bryan there. 12 points by Jay Reed, 6 rebounds, 2 assists. He was 4 of 8, 50% from the field, 4 of 4 from the line. 11 points by Rashawn Hampton with the rebound. He was also 3 of 7 from behind the arc, hitting 2 corner threes there late in the second half were huge for him along with Peyton West. Cordado ends the night 10 points, 7 boards, 3 assists for the big Spaniard. 10 points, 6 rebounds, 2 assists for Ty Hurst. He goes 3 of 11 from the field, 1 of 5 from behind the arc, 3 of 4 at the line. Cordado was 5 of 7 from inside, by the way. Ty Runyon, McMinn County native, perfect from the field on the night, and 1 of 1 behind the arc is where it came from. He's 1 of 2 from the charity stripe for his 4 points, along with 3 boards and 2 assists. And then Charles Neverton adding a rebound on the night in his stat category. Looking at, of course, the largest lead by Bryan, they had it by 1 2 different times, and those were in the second half. And then Tennessee Wesleyan, of course, 16 here late with just a few seconds remaining in the ball game. We saw the lead change hands 4 different times, was tied 5 times, but when you look at it overall, Wesleyan really dominated this game from the tip and even through some of the runs that Bryan put together at the end of the first half, Tennessee Wesleyan was still able to cling to that 4-point halftime lead of 36-32, and then again the start to the second half, 9-1 run to start the second half really helped pull them away a little bit. But then you have Bryan that battles back over the next 4 minutes, gets it to within 1. We tie it up a couple of times. Bryan takes their first lead 2 different times at 1, but Wesleyan was able to withstand that run and then started with about 4 minutes left. The Peyton West 3 at the line got fouled. Goes, makes 3, then comes back and hits 2 more. Then they have a couple more big 3-pointers knocked down. And they started to just build that lead and pull away from Bryan here at the very end. So as we wait for Coach Randy Casey to go, let's go ahead. Let's take another 60-second break here before we be joined by Coach Randy Casey. Back in 60 seconds. Back here, WJSQ WLAR Athens, Tennessee. Jared Wright is Coach Randy Casey, elated Coach Randy Casey coming to the table to join us up here. And I'm surprised he's not doused with water bottles or something, but nonetheless, I don't know how he shot away from water bottles in the locker room or what. But, Coach, I mean, I don't think it's any doubt to say that's a signature win in your early Tennessee Wesleyan career right there.
Oh, no question. You know, and you're talking about water bottles. They hit me with wet jerseys and everything else they could find. There's just wasn't even water around at the moment. So
I think I'd take water bottles.
And that's one time. Ty Runyon slapped me on top of the head. I said, if you ever do that again, I'm going to punch you in the face. So don't you ever do that again. So, but, yeah, that man, you know, finally, and I was telling Drew here that before the game that we've been close. We've been close and been close and been close, and we finally have figured out what a recipe is for us, for our team, and what our identity is. And I'm going to tell you something, and we guarded the heck out of those guys.
Yeah,
we defended the crap out of them. You know, we blew their screens up, everything. We took them out of all their actions, especially late in the game. We took them out of all their actions that they wanted to do to the point where they just started to try to go one-on-one, and they're not built to be one-on-one team.
It's the number 1 team in the conference, so anytime you can knock them off, and you know, it's only the second win here at James L. Robb, but I think, like you said, you're starting to gel. I think one thing, momentum was always on your all side. You give up the lead twice late in the game, but the Peyton West, Rashawn Hampton in the corner, Peyton goes 3 of 3, technically, if you count the 3 foul shots from behind the arc in back-to-back possessions. And just even when Bryan would make a run, your guys seemed to respond.
No question. There's opportunity. We had an opportunity 2 or 3 times in the second half to fold, and we didn't. You know, we showed a lot of character and toughness and togetherness. You know, and that's the main thing. Our guys are finally, they're trusting each other, and they're playing for each other, and you can tell. I mean, you know, heck, you know, like you said, they cut the lead, and we took the lead, and we come right back and you know, go down there and execute and do what we're supposed to do and trust each other. You know, Manny Cordado was huge tonight.
Yep.
He was huge, especially, you know, we kicked the ball into him, we enter the ball to the post, they collapse on him, he's kicking that thing out. I mean, 2 or 3 times we hit threes simply because he has awareness where the double was coming from and kicking it out.
That's really where you kind of got the game going early to him down low, and he's got a size presence. It was good to see him and Bauer, kind of the reigning conference player of the week, and Josh Bauer out there. But the way Cordado kind of, we've seen some flashes of that this season, but this felt like a really solid game, even with foul trouble. You had to take him and Jay Reed out with 2 fouls apiece. They were able to still play aggressive, but not too aggressive.
You know, that's the thing too. We at one time we had both those guys on the bench in the first half. You know, we're down a couple guys. Stratton Lover, and he's at home. His grandfather passed away. Carradine Hardrick is sick. So, we're down to that's our two post subs. And, Charles Neverdon comes in and plays very physical. Ray Sean at 5'0" comes in and battles his tail off. Everybody we put in the game battle. Ty Runyon, they just continue to compete and never stopped and never quit.
Well, Coach, obviously you've been talking about it. We've talked about it. Can you use this going forward? How much of a momentum win is this for your team?
It's huge for us. That's 2 in a row now, and it's a huge confidence booster. It's a tough stretch for us, and we got Bryan, and then we go to Pikeville Saturday, and then we got Columbia International on Monday. So we're the top 3 teams in the league. Back to back to back. So we knocked one of them off. We're feeling good about ourselves. Let's go see if we can't get some more.
Yeah, obviously the weather kind of making that schedule for you on that one. CIU is supposed to be last Saturday, but nonetheless, if you're going to knock off all 3 of them, you might as well do it in a row and just make some noise.
You got to play them sometime.
That's it,
right? Columbia's their only loss in conference is us.
Yep.
And I'm sure that it still sticks in their craw. So it'll be a battle here Monday night as well.
Well, Coach, congrats on a huge win. Anytime you beat the team from the other side of Highway 30, it's always good. And
I think you said that we lost them 4 times in a row.
4 times in a row, and so you end the losing streak against Bryan, who Wesleyan has had the advantage over and at least earned the regular season split. And who knows about the postseason? You might see him again.
It's very possible.
Well, Coach, congrats on a big win.
Thank you very much.
Best of luck.
Thanks, man.
See you, buddy.
Good to see you.
Coach Randy Casey pleased with his team and such a huge signature win for this Bulldog men's team in his first year here as they knock off Bryan 85-71 here on their home floor. Only their second win at home, but a big momentum win to help them maybe make some moves in the conference standings, and we'll see where it drops Bryan. Obviously, CIU, as Coach Casey just mentioned, with only 1 loss, and that's Tennessee Wesleyan. Not as many wins as Bryan. That's part of it. Of why they're not number 1. Bryan had 9 conference wins coming into this one, so we'll see how the conference standings shake up. But nonetheless, it's a split on the night in the Highway 30 battle. The men able to take care of business here at home against Bryan. So, again, our next broadcast on WJSQ for basketball will be Friday night. As of right now, McMinn County traveling to Cleveland's Raider Arena. 6 and 7:30 tip-off. We'll have that for you here on WJSQ, as long as they do not postpone that one due to weather or school cancellation. So we'll keep you posted. But once again, thank you to all of our sponsors. Thank you to Coach Smith, Coach Casey. Thank you to our halftime guest, Maury Young and Jacelyn Stone, as we wrap this one up here. Once again, thank you to our sponsors, and thank you to Handsome Dan back at the station. That'll wrap us up for WJSQ WLR Sports. This is Jared Wright. Have a great night.
You have been listening to Tennessee.